are still on.
Yes,
Just
Mr. Sibe.
so then maybe they
Please,
missed it.
please turn your camera off. On my
Just
side,
a minute.
okay.
Okay, cool.
Okay, thank you so much. Alrighty, an official welcome to everybody. Once again, thank you so much for joining this morning. We truly appreciate your time. For us, it means a lot that you are part of this session because it then demonstrates that there is interest on your side to join the program and ultimately participate in the program. We don't take for granted that you are here. We know that there are other commitments. You could be attending to client meetings, requests, and so forth. But you being here this morning really demonstrates to us that each and every one of you, are serious and intentional about growing your businesses, and taking an interest into such program really is the first step towards that. I am Nontutugo Mlambo. I'm the project manager rather here at Zivoli Growth Partners, and I will be facilitating this morning's information session. I am supported by my incredible team. I have Khonze Modao on the call with us this morning, as well as Matika Moloy. I think I saw her um, earlier. I just want to see who else is here from my team. Okay, I think I'm supported by those two powerhouses this morning. But yeah, the session really aims to provide everyone with in-depth information about the Seriti ED program, and really is about informing you of what the program interventions entails, what the process is, and what the next steps would be for everyone that is eager to participate in the development journey. So I will be taking you through a presentation that contains information about the program. May I ask that you refrain from asking questions by way of, raising your hand, and please only ask your questions at the end. We're going to have a Q&A session. And the reason I'm saying that is that most likely I'm getting reverb. May I just
You have
I
muted
don't know.
yourself.
Yes, I don't know if it's just only me, but you are not audible.
Oh, my apologies. Did you miss all of what I said?
Not everything, but I think
No.
point.
Okay, all right. No, I can repeat what I was saying. So I was just speaking to what the intention of what the intention of the session is, rather, which is by way of providing information about the program. We want to ensure that everyone is really has detailed information about what the program is about, what the benefits are, and what the journey is, because it will require commitment from each and every one of you. But the fact that you are here this morning is a true testament of your keen intention to develop yourselves and your businesses. And so we do not take that for granted. I then said that could I just ask that you please hold your questions for the Q&A session, because most likely you will be able to get the answers to your questions as I go through the presentation. So what you can do is, just so that you don't forget your question, you can also put it on the chat, and then my team will just assist when we're doing Q&A to ensure that we go over those questions as well. And then, yeah, essentially, I'd just like for us to refrain from asking questions during the presentation, as it will also cause disruptions. Now, before I get into the content of the presentation, I do just want to acknowledge the hands that I'm seeing. Mr. Sebi, your hand is up, and also Valencia, your hand is up. I just want to know if you have any questions, comments, feedback that you want to share or something to that effect. Alternatively, please retract your hands. Okay, just also maybe to repeat, I am supported by my team, Khonse Modao, as well as Madika Maloy. Together, we are just going to be ensuring that through the session, you will be able to get as much information about the program as much as possible, and it will influence your decision to participate in the recruitment process. Patricia, I'm seeing a new hand. Do you have a question that you'd like to pose?
Yes, actually, I do have a question because I don't want to stay into the session and find out that I'm not included in the program because I'm from Val, and then I know there's Seriti nearby Val, but when I applied, I didn't see our branch there in the application. So I wanted to know if we are included or not.
Okay. Okay, thank you for that question. Does anyone else share the same sentiments or would like to find out? Because I can understand that you wouldn't want to be in a session only to find out that it's not applicable to your area. Okay, we also have another hand. Let me just see. Okay. Masego, please go ahead.
Yeah, good morning, everyone again. Yeah, I'm also from the Val. I share the very same sentiment. It was I was just gonna ask if we are included or maybe we just not gonna be included in the program.
Okay, okay,
Thank
thank you very much. All right, awesome, thanks. Okay, let's see. Okay, Kulegani, you can go ahead.
Morning, Sissy. How are you?
Good, thanks, and yourself.
Good. On the criteria of the application for the program, it states that you need to be 51% Black women-owned enterprise.
Yes.
Does this automatically disqualify us if we're not 51% women-owned?
Okay, you're asking a question. Okay. Please just allow me to respond to that when we get to speaking to the criteria.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, so to answer the first question around the areas in which we are accepting applications. So let me just do this. Let me share my screen. Okay, I'm just trying to share my screen at the moment. Okay, I believe it's reflecting on your side. Okay, and right now I'm beaming the recruitment criteria. Okay, so and I'm only going to speak to the location part because I understand why that question is of importance right now. So it says that applicants should be within the vicinity of New Largo, Kriel, Klipspruit, and Kuthala mines. So if you don't see the mine that is operational next to your area, it would mean that one, you do not then meet the criteria when it comes to location, right? However, I would like to encourage that you please stay on the call and take in the information that we're going to be sharing. In case there are any changes to this, at least you won't have to one, reapply, and then two, to re-engage in a session like this. So because you are already here this morning, I would like to encourage you to please stay. Should there be an opportunity that we extend this to the other minds, then you would then be able to be eligible. Now, I want to please highlight and emphasize that it's a should. So should it happen, I'm not guaranteeing that it will happen, but should it happen, we would like to then have your application on file because you would have gone through this particular process of one, being in the session, getting information about the program, making an informed decision of applying on the program, and then us being able to receive your application. So yes, I'll stop there and say it is your decision, but should it happen, it would really be ideal that you remain on the call. Okay, right. So let me proceed to the start of our session. Okay, so just maybe you did not hear me when I was introducing myself. My name is Nuntutugo Mlambo. I am the project manager here at Zavoli Growth Partners, and I am presiding over the Seriti ESD program. I'll be taking you through the information that is related to the Enterprise Development Program, and together with my team, we will then be facilitating a Q&A session towards the end of our meeting, if you will, so that I can then answer your questions. As I go through the presentation, please make note of the questions that you have if you want to make a comment or anything of that sort on the chat. And then towards the end, when the segment does come where we're going to be taking questions, you can then ask your question. All right. So in this session, I'll be taking you through the program background, the program design, what the next steps are, as well as facilitating that Q&A session. So please just allow me to then speak to Zavoli and who we are. So Zavoli Growth Partners is an entrepreneur development organization. We pride ourselves in our ability to bridge the gap between corporates and SMEs, and to improve the standard of living through providing access to opportunities, and in our quest to contribute to a world where supply diversity is business as usual. We have been in existence for more than 10 years, and our experience speaks for itself. And our expertise really do span across SME development and supplier diversity. We are supported by a team of 24 subject matter experts that form part of our panel. We have executed and implemented more than 50 programs. We have 24 corporate clients and counting, and we have supported more than 700 SMEs. So when it comes to supporting SMEs, we know that we can say that we are supporting a company, but that company has in itself employees of the company that also have people that they're responsible for, families that they're responsible for. So while the number of SMEs is more than 700, we know that our contribution to entrepreneur development has a compound effect on every other person that is involved in each of the businesses that we have walked this development journey with. So we really do pride ourselves in ensuring that we are contributing to a landscape where the South African economy is able to support more than just the businesses that we engage with. We specialize in the ESD strategy, where we develop ESD programs as well as the implementation thereof. We also facilitate access to funding as well as markets. But I do want just to highlight here, boldly please, to say that we don't offer financial support. We offer non-financial business development support. However, where we are able to assist SMEs in accessing support is to ensure that through our programs, you are able to have the blueprint of what you need when you are wanting to access funding opportunities So through our programs, we'll assist you with putting your financial records together. We'll provide you access to a financial management system where you're void of, that will help you to be able to put together the documentation that you need when you are applying for funding. And to the extent where we have information on funding opportunities, we do share those and we facilitate even support with that. So, for example, if there's a funding opportunity that we find, we will circulate it to everyone that is on our SME database. And we also present the opportunity for us to assist you in putting together your application documents. And we will review them with you and also help identify areas of development to ensure that your chances of getting the funding are high. But just to once again emphasize, ladies and gentlemen, we don't offer funding. So please make sure that you understand that and you know what being on a program and any intervention with us entails. Yes, okay. And then moving along, we offer also strong digital as well as governance systems, and also ensure that there is accountability and impact in the work that we do. So I spoke to the fact that we have more than 24 corporate clients. So our footprint is as follows. We are headquartered in South Africa, and we have strong networks in the broader SADC region. We have internal project management team, internal M&E monitoring and evaluation, as well as essentially a strong network of mentors that assist in the scalability of our delivery. And then lastly, we have proven tools for tracking and reporting. So just by way of everyone noticing the clients that we've worked with, in case there are opportunities that you're trying to explore, we've worked with the likes of Cecil, Coca-Cola, Solar Reserve, we've worked with Darmin, we've worked with Unilever, and so on and so forth. And to the best of our abilities, we do try and use our corporate relationships to try and get opportunities for entrepreneurs. But I do want to emphasize on the fact that this is to the best of our ability. There are processes that are followed through each and every one of these corporates. Therefore, there won't be any shortcuts or special favors that are made for our entrepreneurs. We just ensure that we facilitate introductions where possible and ensure that the information that we receive from our clients when there are opportunities are shared with everyone, and everyone has a fair chance to be able to explore and exploit those opportunities. All right. And then when it comes to the core of what we do, which is SME development and capacity building, we pride ourselves in being able to create SMEs that demonstrate operational excellence, technical mastery, as well as procurement readiness. These three things are a powerful tool, essentially a bomb, that we use to ensure that we contribute to a landscape where entrepreneurs that knock on doors for corporate opportunities have operational efficiency and excellence. From an ops perspective, everything is crystal clear, from your processes to who does what, when, and why. We make sure that we bed those down so that when it comes to your service delivery, you're on par. We believe that each and every one of you that is on this call this morning and that is operating a business worldwide, you have the technical skills and expertise to run the businesses that you're running. Ultimately, you wouldn't be where you are in terms of your success. However, through this program, we make sure that your businesses then are technically sound and you are masters of what you do by supporting you with the relevant qualifications that are needed, the certifications that are needed to strengthen your opportunities, and prospects rather to opportunities. We provide you, for example, with ISO standards and the related training that is to that, so that you're able to ultimately compete at a level where you are able to show and demonstrate your technical mastery. And then lastly, procurement readiness. This is quite important. You have to be able to ensure that you are procurement ready. Should an opportunity arise, the documentation that is required from you, the information that you have to have, all of those things that contribute to you looking, speaking, presenting yourself as a procurement ready company is really what we pride ourselves in. And so we do that by ensuring that we focus on technical mastery and and improve procurement opportunities. We focus on the operational excellence and the sustainability of your business. And we do this through having tailored interventions that are based on diagnostic assessments, as well as ensuring that we then design key program elements that speak to the core of what we do, which is ensuring that you are operationally excellent, you are technical, and you have a mastery around your technical capabilities, and you are procurement ready. Now, I'm going to speak to the program background, which then is essentially an introduction to the Seriti Enterprise Development Program. So, Seriti's strategy, and this is for year 2026 to 2028 in terms of their financial year, really does focus on driving inclusive economic participation by ensuring that they're building resilient and competitive MSMEs within their host communities, which is across Mpumalanga, Free State, as well as the Gauteng regions. Through an integrated enterprise development, inclusive procurement, ESG alignment, and digital enablement. The strategy does aim to create a sustainable supply chain that then delivers long-term shared value beyond just compliance. Now, when it comes to this program, as much as we call it an ED program, it is essentially the Seriti Operational Excellence for Enterprise Development Program, which is a structured 12-month initiative that aims to support a cohort of about 24 enterprises that will form part of the program participants across the different Seriti host communities. Now, the program seeks to deliver skills development, mentorship, as well as market access support to strengthen the MSME's capabilities, as well as to enable sustainable growth. The program is designed to address the unique challenges that are faced by each and every one of you operating in these mining affected areas. And it essentially follows a progressive development pathway that aims to build enterprises from foundational capability to advanced operational excellence, ultimately positioning yourselves as participant for procurement opportunities and readiness, as well as long-term sustainability. Now, this program is anchored by the program objectives, which essentially are three. The first one speaks to promoting entrepreneurship. Through this program, we aim to cultivate the mindset and the skills that are required for successful entrepreneurship. And we do this through our interventions. So I'll speak to those in the upcoming slides. Secondly, we aim to enhance business capabilities by strengthening each and every enterprise that is on our program to ensure that it achieves long-term growth as well as resilience. And then lastly, we aim to drive business development by equipping you as MSMEs with the tools and the knowledge that you need to operate efficiently and sustainably. Okay, so now I go into program design. These upcoming slides are very important because they are probably going to answer some of the questions that you already have in terms of what the program entails and what the journey is from here. So I'd like for you to be as attentive as possible because once again, your questions will be answered in these upcoming slides. Okay, so as mentioned, it is a 12-month program that essentially is underpinned by this following program design, and each and every participant that participates in the program will ultimately go through this roadmap. Now, we are currently at the first step of the journey, which is the recruitment phase. And that entails you receiving essentially the marketing collateral that introduces this program, and then being in this information session this morning also is part of the recruitment phase, because you're going to get information about the program, and then also the link to the application form, which some of you have already completed. So we really do appreciate the fact that you have taken an interest in participating in this program. And we will then move on to the next phase, which is the screening and selection. So this really sees us going through your applications, screening you according to the recruitment criteria, and then being able to go into the process of shortlisting the candidates that we see as eligible for the program against the criteria. And then thereafter, we will schedule interviews. We will interview you just to ensure that there is alignment between ourselves and you. So in those interviews, they will be facilitated by ourselves as Zavoli Growth Partners and representatives from Seriti. More than anything, we want to ensure that there's alignment between what the program offers and what you want in terms of your business needs. And when there is that synergy, we know that then we'll be able to make a selection of the program participants that will then be walking the journey with us for the remainder of the program. Right, so once we have the participants or beneficiaries, if you will, that are going to be participating on the program, we'll then move over to onboarding. Now, onboarding is a phase in itself where we then get into deeper information about what the program is about, what you should expect. We speak to the intervention of the program and what those will look like, introduce you to the key project team members from the Zavoli side as well as the Seriti side, and just make sure that you have, as much information as you need for what the journey then entails as we go through the schedule and as well as the project plan, just to give you an overview of that. And then we then go through business development support, which then ultimately is the fun part, right? So this is where we'll then be facilitating the different interventions that have been put together and conceptualized for this program. But I'll speak to the next few slides in terms of what this looks like. And then the last phase is then program exit. So just please excuse my typo there. It's actually meant to be number 5 or step 5. Right. So now I'm going to go into more detail about what the 5 phases actually entail. Okay. So starting with the recruitment criteria. So when it came to the recruitment criteria, the duration in operation, it has to be a minimum of 1 year. We are not accepting applications from businesses that have been operating less than a year. So if that's the case, unfortunately, we will not be moving ahead with your application, because this is an important requirement on our side. And as mentioned, in terms of the location, the applicant should be within the vicinity of New Largo, Kriel, Klipspruit, and Kuthala mines. And I did say in the beginning of the session that should this change, it's actually a great thing that you are in this session if you are not within the vicinities that are mentioned here. Right. And then with ownership, it's 100% Black ownership is what we require. and at least 51% Black women ownership. So we did have a question from a gentleman that said they don't have 51% Black ownership. You can still apply for the program. We're not going to exclude you because of this. So you can still apply even if you don't have Black women ownership, even if you are 100% owned without any female or women representation, you can still apply for the program, right? And then when it comes to the application platform, we are accepting applications only on the Accelerator app. And this is available to you through a link that then gives you access to the application form. I know that perhaps some of you have experienced challenges when it comes to the application form and accessing that, and we do appreciate you reaching out to our team to say that this is the challenge that you're experiencing, because it then allowed us to fix where there was bugs and errors. So thank you very much for that. And I hope that the issues that we experienced have been resolved. But if you do have any challenges with accessing the application form on the Accelerator app, please do reach out to us. We will assist you in this regard. You can contact us via email so that we can then have your query logged, and then we will most likely contact you and then take you through how to access the form and then how to populate the application form. Now, we know that the application form requires supporting documents. So you'll find that this is your CIPC registration, your tax PIN, your BE certificate. We've also asked for proof of 1-year trading history, which can be a PO contract or letters of referral and completion, or the 1-year financial records. It could be 12-month financial statements or management accounts, your shareholder certificate, as well as your business profile. Now, it's quite possible that when you are filling in the application form, you may not have all of these supporting documents available to you at that time, and that is okay. Now, what you can do is to please continue with submitting your document, with submitting your application form. However, you would have to email us the rest of the documents that are then outstanding. And the reason for this is when we are then closing the application and we are screening your application, the mere fact that you have submitted all of your documents is essentially a tick against your name when it comes to your eligibility from the program. And then when we don't have some of the supporting documents, not even some, all of the supporting documents, it then does contribute to you not being successful. So please ensure that you fill in the application form to the best of your ability, providing as much detail as possible, and then you submit. However, if you don't have all of the documents, continue to please submit your application form, and then you can then email us the outstanding documents. If you don't email us those documents by the 20th of February, please consider your application unsuccessful, because we will not be able to proceed if you don't have all of the supporting documents. So the nice thing about emailing us the documents is that you can even say when you're still working towards getting something. So for example, let's say that your BE certificate is expired and you're in the process of getting one, you can always inform us via email that I've attached X and X documents. However, this one is not available, but I will submit it, and then you give us timelines. We can accept that. But if you don't upload all of your documents and you don't email us by the 20th, please consider your application as unsuccessful. Okay, but communicate with us and we will then be able to assist where possible. Okay, so then we move over to screening and selection. Now, we'll have a long list, which then forms part of the first stage of our screening and selection process, which is then on your part is the completion of the application form, as well as the compliance documentation that we need you to submit as part of your application form. I hope that I've stressed the importance of this enough so that you know that with stage 1, you get through, right? And then stage 2 is where we then shortlist, where we evaluate your application form against the criteria, right? And then thereafter, we'll then be able to see which SMEs are most eligible for the program based on the criteria, as well as information that you provide to us on your application form. And then from there, we will then invite prospective SMEs to interviews. And this would then be the shortlisted group, which will be led jointly by Zavoli and Seriti, with the aim of assessing your motivation to join the program, as well as your alignment to the bigger and broader program objectives. Thereafter, we will then select the applicants that have made it and will be part of the program as participants. And those people will then form part of stage 4, which will then send communication to say you have been successful and you will be onboarded onto the program. All right. So we're going to follow a 4-stage process when it comes to screening and selection. Okay. And then with onboarding, diagnostic assessment, as well as growth plans. Now, the onboarding session marks the official start of the program, and it serves to align on expectations, program objectives, the expected outcomes, the implementation timelines, roles and responsibilities, as well as the available support mechanisms for this program. So all program participants, that means everyone that is successful in the application, they go through the interviews and we see that there's alignment and they are selected to be program participants. They will undergo a business diagnostic assessment that will then assess current operations as well as to identify key development needs. Now, how we do this is we do a diagnostic assessment, which does the following, or includes the following rather. We will conduct a site visit where we will verify your business location, your operations, as well as your assets, right? And then we will then do a business health check, which is an evaluation of your business performance across different areas. We will assess areas like your risk management, your financial management, your operations, your compliance, as well as your overall business functions. And then that will inform where the gaps are in your business. And then lastly, the third assessment is the entrepreneurial aptitude assessment, which then seeks to give us an understanding of the business owner's entrepreneurial strengths and how we can leverage that to help you further improve and grow your businesses. Now, once we've completed the diagnostic assessment, we'll then put together a diagnostic report, which will then be compiled for each business, and then it forms a basis for your tailored growth plan that outlines what are the priority development areas for your particular business. Right. Okay. Now, we then move over to the last phase, if you will, which is then the business development support. Now, the program's core support focuses on interventions that strengthen your business's capabilities through a combination of group-based learning and one-on-one support, ultimately ensuring both knowledge transfer as well as practical application and implementation. Now, for an operational excellence program, we have standard interventions that we recommend for an enterprise development program. And these are mentorship and coaching, structured learning and development, legal support, digital marketing support, financial management training, back office support, which is your tools and resources, as well as market access readiness support. Now, just I want to touch briefly on these. With mentorship and coaching, you will have access to a mentor. A mentor will be assigned to you individually, and they will help you work through the business challenges that you have in your business, and also influence how journey towards improving the areas that need development within your business functions and operations. And then there's structured learning and development, which is ultimately training sessions that we run that seek to close gaps in business areas. So you'll find that we'll have a learning and development training session that would be on your operations, marketing, business strategy, finance, you name it. The structured learning and development is by a way of us being able to close the business gaps or the business function gaps rather that we see in your businesses. And then with legal support, we believe that entrepreneurs that are operating at an enterprise development level need support when it comes to them understanding how to get into legal and contractual relationships. So you will then get assistance with looking at that in terms of how you're operating your business from a legal point. So we'll do a legal health check that looks at internally in your business. What are the contracts looking between you and your employees? The contracts between you and your service providers and your clients. What are those looking like? Are you protecting yourself from a legal perspective? It also does go into compliance and also assesses from a compliance perspective, what are the risks, what are you doing well, and you also then are provided with recommendations in terms of way to improve. And you will also have access to a toolkit that has all of the templates that you will need under the sun when it comes to your legal function. So you have access to contracts templates, you name it. They'll help you understand the clauses within your contracts and when to negotiate, how to negotiate, and all of those things packaged under legal support. Digital marketing support is where we provide support to you through website development or upgrades. We'll provide you with marketing and branding collateral. So it would be improvement of your business profile. It would be improvement of your letterheads, logos, those type of things, because we want you to be able to present yourself in a professional manner. And then from a financial management training, we do offer that. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. And then with back end or back support, back office support rather, this is access to tools and resources. So depending on what tools and resources your business needs, we are able to assist with that. But what we find as a standard is that some businesses don't have a financial management system, which is what we will provide you. And we'll provide you with a 12-month subscription. Typically, it's a 12-month subscription to that financial management tool. However, if you do have a financial management tool that you're comfortable with, we'll then explore other tools and resources that will help you from an operations perspective to be, excellent. And then the last one is market access readiness. So we'll then provide you with support in terms of developing a market access, strategy, educating you about how to knock on doors, when to knock on doors, what do you say, what don't you say, how do you package your business. So we then provide you with access to that type of training. Now, when it comes to next steps, this speaks to the 4 things. One, it is the application start date. So applications have been live. We started taking applications from the 29th of January, and then applications will close on the 20th of February. So just to emphasize, ladies and gentlemen, we will not be accepting any applications after the 20th, except if we extend. And even with that, it's going to be communicated on our social media that we would extend the closing date. But for now, please receive it as we will be closing the application process on the 20th of February. And then from there, we'll start screening, selection, and also conducting interviews. I've spoken to what this process entails, and we'll be doing that between the 23rd of Feb until the 23rd of March. And then lastly, we will then start the program and then move on to the stages of onboarding, diagnostics, and business development support. Right. So this then brings me to the end of the presentation. I am now handing over to the floor for any questions that you may have. Let me stop sharing my screen so that I can see if there are hands, or also just check the chat box if there are any questions that have been noted. Okay. Okay, so we have a question from Ukoketso that reads, what practical improvements should a business expect by the end of the program? So this is a great question, and thank you so much for asking it. Essentially, the improvements that you can expect are linked to the program interventions. And we would like to be clear that while the interventions that I've spoken and taken you through are our standard interventions, our interventions are also very much guided by the diagnostic assessment and the report that we have. So we'll always ensure that the gaps that we address are aligned to what your diagnostic report speaks to. And where we're not able to provide assistance, we then leverage our networks to be able to provide you with support. Now, those practical improvements that you're speaking to speak directly to the interventions. So, for example, from a legal perspective, you will find that right now your contracts, you go into them maybe not understanding fully what you are getting yourself into. And so through that intervention, we are able to equip you with understanding of what it means, what each and every clause means, and how do you then strengthen your legal function within your business to make sure that you don't sign yourself up for something that you don't understand, something that you don't live up to. We look at strengthening also your stance. So, for example, when it comes to contracts with your suppliers and your employees, those are also reviewed to make sure that the business is protecting itself, but more than anything, is operating in accordance to the law. And then with everything else, really, when it comes to financial management training, we teach you on how to improve your costing and pricing, and then also then give you the tools that you need to be able to sustain those and ultimately make a profit. So we'll give you access to a 12-month subscription for a financial management system, and that then really does contribute to overall improve financial management. Essentially, to answer your question, Koketso, the practical improvements, you should expect them by virtue of you participating in all of the interventions. and then putting everything into practice. That's how, and that's the only way you'll be able to see improvements in your business. And then these intersections are delaying. Okay, I just want to see. Are there any questions? Okay. There's a question. Why does the program exclude startup businesses from participating? This is also another good question. So essentially, there are programs that are designed for startup businesses, and Seriti does have a program for that. And then there's enterprise development, and then there's supplier development. So for enterprise development, the criteria is structured in such a way that it supports enterprises that are already existing, because those businesses will then receive the support that they need to further grow their businesses, but ultimately position them for opportunities for procurement readiness. And I'm not promising nor saying that there is a guaranteed of procurement opportunities or onboarding for you to become a supplier by virtue of you being on this program. But each and every development program that exists has a set objective. And for this program, the objective is to support already existing and operational businesses. However, just to reiterate, there is a program that Seriti already runs for businesses that are at a startup stage. Okay, and then I don't want to lose any other question. Let me see. Okay. From home, only have a store in the location. Do you accept that kind of business for training? Yes, we do accept businesses that operate from home. That's not a problem. Yeah, that's not a problem at all. You can participate. Okay. Please elaborate on the products and services that the mine is targeting. Please contract production related services versus catering services. So with regards to this enterprise development program, we are not assigning or aligning it to any products or services that the mine is targeting, because this is not a supplier development program, first and foremost. And also it is by way of providing support to businesses that are already operating in the vicinity of the mine. So I cannot elaborate on these products because that's not the target for this particular program. Okay, and then so if your business hasn't operated for over a year and can't provide some document, does it mean that I'm excluded from? Short answer is that yes. So if you haven't been operating for over a year, you cannot participate on the program. And then ultimately the second question then becomes null and void, because by virtue of you not having minimum of 1 year in operation, you can't participate. Okay. Another one, can we be considered since we stayed for, because I really want to be part of the program. So the short answer is no. You being in this information session is great and it's amazing. It informs your decision to participate in the application process further, going as far as submitting your application form as well as the supporting documents. But whether or not you stayed and attended the session, really we can't consider you on that ground, because there are other people that will join other information sessions that we're going to have, and others that might not. But by virtue of you submitting your application form, that's where the basis of consideration starts. Okay, and then it says, by excluding startup businesses that have been trading for less than 1 year, are you not perpetuating barriers to entry market? Well, on the flip side, it really is about what the program objectives are. While we want to provide, development support to each and every business, there are limitations to what we can do, and this forms one of them. As I mentioned, there is a program that Seriti is already running for startup businesses. And please, by all means, explore opportunities for those particular programs. But this particular program does not extend to businesses that have been operating for less than a year. Okay. Let's see. Sure. Okay. I'm liking the interaction here. How many enterprises will you be shortlisting? So that's an interesting question, Nonjabulo. So when it comes to the numbers, please expect that we will be having an intake of between 20 to 24, 25 participants, but that is still being deliberated. But that's around there. 20 to 24, 25 enterprises are the ones that we're going to be shortlisting and ultimately having on the program, which then provides an opportunity for at least majority of you that have already applied to be considered from the program. Okay, and then okay, Cindy. Cindy, your question, the program is for ultimately people that are eligible are within the vicinity of Kutala, Klipspruit. Okay, I don't want to speak to something I'm not looking at. New Largo Grill. Those are the areas. But I did mention that if you are close to the other mines that are not here, should there be an extension of scope, please continue to apply so that you have the opportunity to still be considered. Okay. Zeke says that I have submitted the application form. Do I still have to submit another one? If you've already submitted an application form, please do not go through the process again. We would have received your application form. Right? Cleopatra asks, what is the expected start and end of the program? So the program has already started because we are in the recruitment phase. However, if you will, the program interventions will kick off in the month of April. So once we have essentially come up or gotten our cohort in terms of the people that are going to be participating, that's when we're going to start the interventions. And then you can expect that the business development interventions can run over a span of 6 to 8 months. And then we'll then have graduation. But ultimately, it is a 12-month program that is currently in motion. Okay. Okay, Kagiso says, my business has been running for 2 years now, located in Bookbug Ridge. My business is not yet registered. Do I qualify for the program? You don't qualify for the program because your business is not registered. One of the supporting documents that we need is your CIPC registration, your triple BE certificate, which I believe you cannot have if your business is not registered. So the short answer is that you don't qualify for the program on the basis of not being registered. Okay. Gosentle is asking, is there ring-fence supply opportunities for selected SMMEs? So short answer is no. Programs cannot ring-fence opportunities because everything has to be fair. So you will go through the program, and once that's completed, there is opportunity for a supplier development program, but you'd have to graduate from this one first. So short answer is that they can't be ring-fenced opportunities. The process has to be fair and square. Okay, and then Dumisani says, I just wanted to ask you to resend the application form when I make mistakes because I'm supposed to select the nearest. Okay, I cannot change it or not. Okay, so Dumisani, what I'd rather we do is that we will make an amendment on your application form. If that's the only thing that you need to change in terms of your location, we can do that for you. You don't have to restart the application form. We'll then just make that change. But please reach out to us via email so that we can make a note of this and every other thing that you maybe want to change on the program. Okay. Kulegani says, when and how will we know the outcome of our application? So you will receive an email from us between the 23rd and the 23rd of February and the 23rd of March, because that's when we are going to be doing the screening. So we'll then be able to provide you with feedback as to your application. So please expect feedback around that time. Okay. Zeke says, I have 2 different companies. Would you advise me to apply for both the entities or just one? This is an interesting question. Just one. Okay. So you can, because I'm assuming, right, that your enterprises offer different services, you can apply for both. And then that will set you up that should you be accepted as a program participant, you can then integrate the learning into both businesses. So yes, you can apply, provided that your businesses offer different service offerings. Okay. The program will help the company have vendor, but they don't get opportunities in the Seriti operation. African industries, I'm not sure that this is more of a question. It sounds like a comment and more of an opinion. So I can't speak to it unless you please rephrase it as a question. Then I can respond to it. Okay. And then Masego says, do you need the shareholder certificate even if there is one director? No, we don't. Okay. And then Koketo, is there any evidence for applicants to strengthen, or any advice rather, for applicants to strengthen the application? I like this question. So what I would say is that really give a true representation of your business. The application form is structured in a way that it helps us extract information about the business itself, its current stage and status, and then we're able to see as to the relevance of the program interventions and ultimately what we're trying to achieve as objectives of the business. So as mentioned, the standard interventions for an operational excellence program are already defined, but when we receive the application form and there is, other areas, we're able to see if we can provide assistance for this. So my advice is to be as truthful as possible about the current status of your business. Stipulate what you don't have, because what you don't have is what the program intends to assist you and help you with. So don't make anything look pretty when it's not. Stay true to your business, and that's where we'll be able to see how best we can support you. Right. Okay. Cindy. Cindy, once again, if you don't see your area on the application form, that's okay. Please continue with your application form. As I said, should we extend, it puts you in a better position for you to get considered. Okay. With regards to the financials, I don't have them and I only have started now in the past 3 months. Will that be acceptable? You've only started capturing your financials or you've only started your operations. I'm not clear on that. So that will inform whether it's a yes or no on my side. But please submit what you have. We'll then be able to see. And then if we need further clarification, because your number is on the application form, we will give you a call just to seek an understanding. Okay. Matt says, I have a comment for consideration. The program is well structured. However, the unique nature of these hosts these hosts do not have the requirements, and therefore it's always benefiting secondary location. For example, looking at the last intake, it had no representation of the specific communities mentioned above. I'm willing to elaborate on this if possible. Okay, thank you, Matt, for your comment. Don't have the requirements, and therefore it's always benefiting secondary. Oh, I understand what you're saying. Okay, so look, I think this question would be best suited to be answered by Seriti. So I'm happy to take this forward. If you can, please just send me an email so that I'm able to give you feedback with regards to this. I believe that it's only fair that you get a response from the relevant people. Okay, I think I've exhausted all the comments on the chat. Sibusiso, do you still want to ask your question, or are you clear?
Yes, I just good afternoon, everyone. I just wanted to, not actually a question. I'm clear with everything that has just been presented. I just saw an opportunity, because I'm also in the accounting profession, to say all of those that need management accounts or financial statement, they can speak to me. I will then maybe assist them in terms of drafting the management accounts or financial statements. So I don't know how can I leave my details in the platform.
Yes, by all means, and well done, Sibusiso. This is how you get business. So everyone, Sibusiso is providing support to any of you that need assistance with this. However, I'm stressing this, please hear me clearly. We will not be involved nor implicated in this. If you engage with this Sibusiso, it will be on your own accord. So please refrain from involving us in this particular conversation that you're going to be having with this Sibusiso. By all means, Sibusiso, please share your contact details on the chat. If people want to, explore further, they are at liberty to do so.
Okay, I'm just going to type them now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so there's a question that says, what is the name of the other program that Seriti offers for startups? I'd have to really think deep, but if I remember the name, I'll put it in the chat. We don't facilitate it, so I don't have the name top of head, but I do know that they run an academy of some sort. If I'm not able to recall during this call, please go onto their website and then check for the program and the opportunities there. But I do know that it does exist. Okay, Mr. Sebe, is your hand still up? Oh, this, okay, yes, thank you, Archibald. So it's the Seriti Entrepreneurship Academy, right? And then does Witbank fall under all of the listed operations? Yes, Witbank does fall under the operations. Okay, Blessed Mazibugo, you can go ahead.
Accounting community, I will also share my details for anyone who needs assistance, just to be ready with the application information.
Perfect, thank you so much. Okay, Cindy, you can go ahead.
I'm sorry, I'm having a network problem on my side. I didn't hear you when I asked a question about the place where the places where
where we're accepting applications?
Yes.
Okay.
The program is for people around which places, because I'm at Secunda, Ekinro, so I'm not sure whether I fit or not.
Okay, I'll put it on the chat.
Okay.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any other questions, please feel free to also put them on the chat. But we have run out of time, but I'm happy to take additional questions if there are any. So management accounts or financial annual 12 months, not annual, 12 months financial statements are compulsory. We do need to see your financial management and your standing. Okay. All right. So if there are no other questions, is there a WhatsApp group chat that is available for further information regarding the application process? We will be introducing that pretty soon. So please look out for come from us or an invitation to join that particular platform that is able to provide further assistance and support with the application form or process rather. But in the meantime, please reach out to us on email. I've put my email address on the chat. Should you have any questions that you need us to further clarify and to support you with. Okay. Matt, your hand is up. You can go ahead.
Good day, Tutugo and team. Sorry, Tutugo, to elaborate, to ponder on this matter, but you mentioned that as the hosting community, if we do have challenges, we should direct them directly to Seriti. Do you perhaps then have a contact person that we can maybe raise these questions with?
Okay, so Matt, I think you misheard me. I said I am interested and keen to take this up with Seriti, so I will engage with them. I then asked that you please email me so that I have your email address and then I can revert to you with feedback on what they say.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So I have already submitted my application and the management accounts were left out. How can I submit in this regard? Please send us an email either to myself. I have my email address on the chat, or Khonte Motau, who sent you the calendar invite. So you will see her email there. As mentioned earlier, ladies and gentlemen, if you have already submitted your application form or in the process of submitting your application form, but you don't have the supporting documents, please continue to submit your application form, and then you can always email us the outstanding documents to myself or to Khonte by the 20th of February. If we've received your application form without the supporting documents after the 20th of February, we will not be assessing your application any further without supporting documents. So you can consider your application as unsuccessful. Okay. I believe I have answered the questions that we currently have. If there are any questions that you think of or anything that comes to mind after the session, please make use of my email address. It's on the chat, and ask those questions. And we will introduce the WhatsApp application to you so that you can also then redirect those questions on that platform. We are here to support you. We want you to be successful. We want for you to be participating on this program. And if we could, we would accept each and every one of you. But what we do say is that should you not be successful for this particular program, please know that you become part of our database. And when we have new programs with every other client, you have access to that information because we do share it with you on our newsletter as well as our social media. So please feel free to engage with us on social media as well, and ask if there are any opportunities, seek assistance. We are here to support you, and we do want to ultimately walk the entrepreneurial journey with you, even if it's not through this particular program. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for being here today. Thank you for the questions that you've asked. I believe that clarity has been provided. And once again, if there are any questions that you have, please feel free to post them to us or send them to us via email. My colleague Madika has on the chat put further information for the application closing date, the qualifying criteria, and for inquiries. Please take a picture of this information, copy the links that you see on the chat so that you have access to this information even after the session. Everyone, thank you once again for your time. We truly appreciate, and we are happy to see all of you in these incredible numbers, and we're hoping to receive your applications as soon as possible. Please submit them as soon as possible so that you don't miss the application closing date. It's all from us. Thank you once again. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you. Alrighty, thanks.